Well, welcome to the most serious podcast. And today I have Rahul with me, and we're going to talk at length about, marketing. We're going to talk about online presence. We're going to talk about brands, individuals, ads, and all of that because he is the expert on that and everything. So much more related to it. But I think we can both acknowledge. I think just the nature of work that is being done. So much through or so much on the face of internet, you are
Right.
very likely to run into physical obstacles like the one which we had just before recording. My
Yeah.
camera isn't working or something, or else something is wrong, internet goes off right between when you're recording. I think
Yeah.
that is just the boon and bane of the internet era.
Right. Right. First of all, thank you so much, Riputaman, for inviting me, and hello to the viewers out there. I think super excited for this conversation. It's going to be about marketing, as that's what I've been doing for the last 6 years in RR Digital Marketing Services. That's my company name. So I've been helping various brands out there. Alongside, I've been doing personal branding. So that's very interesting topic. And that's a must-have skill, I would say, as of now. So excited to talk about those and anything and everything in between and around this, having a candid conversation.
I think generally what happens is whenever we start talking to someone who has some experience in a relative field, so we start
Yeah,
with generalist questions and we see where, and more or less I think we get responses which we kind of already know. So
correct.
when you ask someone a generic question, you more or less get a generic answer. I think that is
Yes.
always the key. Like you have to figure out how to ask better questions to get better out of
Yeah,
people. I
yeah,
think that is
correct.
always the key to engaging conversations or to in general, that value feedback loop. So
Absolutely.
I want to start with something specific to you,
Hmm.
and which is related to, you know, understanding of your understanding of marketing or your understanding of advertisements in general. Like, can
Right,
you break down the word advertisement or can you break down the word marketing for
right,
simple people to understand who just probably have a wrong idea of it or
right.
have never taken the time out to go and study what it is?
Absolutely. See, marketing is a very vast field, so it would be difficult to break it down, but advertisement, I can definitely break it down for you. Uh, and that is relatable to the term marketing as well. So, what I'm seeing is what I believe
Yeah.
advertisement is not selling your product. It's about selling the psychology of your product, selling the perception towards your product. For example, uh, I'll give you a very creative example here. So let's say if you have a coffee brand, right? One way is you can advertise your coffee, talk about the ingredients, talk about the health benefits, talk about the offers, which every other brand is doing as of now, right? But there's a coffee brand wherein they're running an ad wherein a girl comes in the video and she starts by saying, "I broke up with my boyfriend because he got me a shitty coffee." Right?
Okay. Yeah.
That's advertisement because you are hooking the user by not your product, but by an some quirky experience related to that product. And that way, like for example, she told that I broke out with my boyfriend. That catches attention, and then the viewer will definitely listen, or maybe if not listen the entire, or watch the entire video. He or she will definitely share that video with his or her friends to notify them that okay, this is such a creative
Yeah.
video I saw, right? They might not be buyers, they might not be customers, but they will definitely be your brand endorsers, right? So that is advertisement. Not selling the product is advertisement, which is against what the definition might say in textbooks.
And what do you mean when you say, brand endorsers? Let's try to understand what does essentially a brand entail. Like,
Yeah.
what is the difference between a company and a brand?
See, a company is, in technical terms, just as per the the written formats that okay, company is registered and the company is selling this product, this service, right? But a brand is when you attach an emotion to a company, right?
Okay.
For example, Nike is a brand because they have an emotion that they are carrying towards what they are selling, right? They will
Hmm.
never advertise about their shoes directly. They will advertise about the emotions of an athlete. They will advertise about the spirit of an athlete, right? So
Yeah.
that's a brand. And for example, I saw this very good ad. I think it was by BMW that uh, it was showing the BMW car. It did not show the features in detail about the car, but it showed a successful corporate employee enjoying his success in that car.
Hmm.
So rather than showing the typical features in an ad like every other car company would do, they showed a corporate employee getting promotion and then enjoying his or her success in that car. And that's what connects with the audience. And that's what creates those brand endorsers. So coming to your second question, who are brand endorsers? Who feel those emotions with the brand. Because I mean,
Hmm.
if Nike is advertising the spirit of athletes, uh, there will be people who might not relate to that spirit,
Yeah.
right? They're
Yeah.
not into athletics, they're not into sports. But I mean, there will be a set of people who will relate to that particular emotion and would want to share their posts. Or, like, for example, 18 is a brand by Virat Kohli. Now, I believe in Virat Kohli, his values, and that's why I will 9 out of 10 times I'll wear a 18 t-shirt whenever I go out. So I am a
Hmm.
brand endorser of 18, for example. So this is
Yeah,
what I would want
I
to
see.
say.
I see. I think that relates to something that I read online. I don't remember exactly who was the founder of this, but there's this thing called lifestyle advertising, which is
Yes,
essentially what you are talking about. Like, you don't sell the product, you don't sell the service, you sell the lifestyle experience that comes along with
correct,
that product or that service. And,
correct,
which enables you to see the world in a different light. Like, they are not just selling you that product or that service anymore. They are just selling you your life. They are bringing you an idea of, okay, this is something that could look like
correct,
your life if you have whatever fan in your room, or if you have this mattress in your bed, or if you have this phone in your pocket. I think that
correct.
essentially Apple does a pretty good job
Yeah,
at that. Apple has
absolutely.
created an ecosystem which, there are so many companies in the whole Android bucket who are
Yeah.
trying to compete with this one company called Apple, who's just kind of taken its place and never looked back.
Absolutely. Like, for example, recently for my Mac, I needed a part of the charger of the Mac, right? There's a pin
Okay.
that comes in, and that pin costed me $5,000. Now,
Wow.
and I had no questions before buying it because it is Apple, right? So that's the kind of value it has created. It if it would have been any other brand, I would have thought like 10 times I would have bought a local product or something like that. But it is
Yeah.
Apple, so I would want to go with Apple's uh products, like parts that they are selling, right? So that's what happens over a period of time if you advertise your brand, your values, your culture. And nowadays, it's very important also to bring out the people who are running the brand, right?
Hmm.
Who are those people? Who are the employees? Who are the team members? Who's the CEO? There's a very good thing I saw that there's a brand who kept their like the company's, like you would say, the brand's dog as the face of the brand, right? And
Oh.
then named him like a gave him a position, and then on LinkedIn they created a profile for him, and that got viral. So these are the creative things happening in this space, that
Yeah.
you can do anything and everything, but you'll have to have that experiment aptitude to be able to take that risk towards these things.
But whenever I hear this, Rahul, whenever I hear, something like a description of what you just gave for
Yeah,
advertisement, I think personally I'm a person who's very attracted to the idea of a good advertisement. And I
correct.
find myself to be, I think in future, at whatever capacity and, whatever role, I will have a small stint in advertising, maybe some time down the road.
Yeah,
But I just feel it only shows the creative and gloryful side of it. I'm sure
correct.
advertisements and advertising as an industry comes with a lot of pressures of delivery, of
Yes,
are you able to reach those numbers that you promised for the
correct,
budget of this advertisement. So do you
correct.
think, with your clients or in your personal journey of consulting people, working with them, working with brands, do
Yeah.
you see a certain correlation between the two, like how creative or how well doing an ad is? Do you think they're correlated, or they're just two separate things?
So I think those are very correlated. People say that ads cannot be creative. It's a very boring space. Creativity can come only in social media marketing, which is not true according to me. I'll give you a recent example. So for a jewelry-based brand out of Bangalore, it's a gold. They sell gold jewelry and different like rings and chains, etc. Now, a usual brand would target keywords on Google like buy gold jewelry online or buy gold ring online, right? That's what the Giants will also target, like a Tanishq or Jiva. These players with lakhs of budget per day. So you can't compete with those players at a low budget when you're just starting out. So what is the way around that? The way around that is creative advertising. For example, what we did is then we started researching that what are the pain points of the target user, right? one of the pain points we could figure out is we found out a keyword that my wife is angry, right?
Oh,
And that
okay.
keyword has 5,000 plus search volume per month. Just that keyword, imagine my girlfriend is angry, my fiance is angry, all those keywords were also there, which no other brand would even think of targeting in their wildest of dreams. We
Yeah.
targeted that and we showed them the ad that if your wife is angry, gift her a jewelry gift box that we are offering and make her happy. And we
Hmm.
got like eight orders of gold jewelry, which is a precious thing to tell. It's a very difficult, challenging thing to sell in Indian market, right? That too online with online payment completely, right? We got eight orders that day. Our engagement rates were 20% and above, whereas the industry standard is, I think, max to max 2 to 3% is considered as ideal in this industry. So many creative things can be done, but it's just about, and I'm not saying every creative strategy will be successful. You will try five things, maybe three are unsuccessful, but the two that are successful will cover up with for those three other that did not
Hmm.
succeed.
I think that's very interesting.
Yeah,
The analogy of not just limiting yourself to that one campaign that you run out, and making
exactly.
sure that you're giving yourself and this space enough time for it to perform and do things for you.
Yes.
Which brings me to my question of content and then advertising. So I want to ask
Sure.
this to you because I again read this on a Reddit post or somewhere that
Hmm.
paid advertising for your Instagram channel or for your YouTube or something like that kills the
Hmm.
channel essentially. So, do you think that's true? Like, does that affect your channels or your page's natural growing capacity? Or if there is anything like that, I'm sure you know algorithms more than we all
Right.
do. So, do you
Right.
have a sense of understanding for the common folk on whether should they spend on paid advertising on content or not?
Right. So this is primarily more of social media advertising, wherein let's say we'll take two scenarios. Scenario A is you have been posting a lot, you have been doing a lot of efforts, a lot of reels, a lot of stories, live sessions, but still your account is not growing. You have tried everything possible, right? In that particular account, then going the ads route, running your ads via. I would not suggest to boost the post directly from Instagram because a lot of features are not there on boosting. Whereas I would suggest creating a ads manager account and then creating an Instagram profile visit ads via that because that's a feature available. Recently, it was launched like 3, 4 months back, wherein you can track how many people are coming to your profile via ads, and then if your profile is optimized, then you'll get follower increase as well. So in that case, definitely you should go the paid media route because organic is clearly not working for you. Second thing is if your content is working, you're getting views, you're getting engagement, and still you feel that, okay, I want to boost it further, right? Then there's a point I would like to mention. If you run ads, now eventually Meta is also a business, right? It will observe that you have the capacity to pay. So it
Hmm.
will then limit your organic reach and will say that, okay, boss, if you're paying for it, if you want to pay for it, then pay. Then we won't give you the organic reach. If you are paying for it, then it would want to take more money from you, right?
Okay, okay.
So it does limit the organic reach. That's true. That's not completely false. But the limitation on organic reach is not that much that your views will fall all of a sudden. Let's say if you're at an average of, let's say, 50K views, it won't be that you'll drop to 500 views. Maybe it comes down to 30K views or 40K views. Some drop will be there because you are paying also for the reach. So yeah, those are the things. But if you've tried everything, then you should go with ads that way.
Hmm. And how do you usually go about suggesting how do you educate? Because I'm sure that's a part of your job which is
Yes.
not as I think that doesn't come in the JD as much, but I think you would have to deal with a lot of clients being not educated in this space. And you would
Yes.
have to teach them on how to market your budgets, or how to even think about your budgets on an ad campaign.
Right.
So, because
Correct.
I'm sure people would be like, okay, this actually doesn't think, I don't think that this provides as much value as much as
Yeah.
you're charging. So,
Yeah.
how do you tackle conversations like those?
Yeah, those conversations are my daily, it's true that when Gary Vee says that it's like a firefighting job every single day because you have to, and the main part about advertising space is communication. How effectively are you able to educate the client as a 5-year-old? You don't have to use technical jargons in front of them. They won't understand. They don't care about technical jargons. What they care is, will this bring me returns? That's the only thing clients care about. So you have to link all your conversations to returns. For example, now, whenever I pitch a creative strategy or a budget forecasting, I have to educate them that what is the logic behind the same first before even going into the details of it. Let's say if I'm pitching them a creative strategy, then I also tell them beforehand only that it's always a risk when you are going with a particular strategy or a new campaign. But it's about taking calculated risk, and we are taking calculated risk because this is linked to the pain point of our target users, and this has high probability of winning. So let's not restrain ourselves from trying it out. Let's try it on a low budget so that the losses are controlled, but let's give it a shot, right? Because
Hmm.
it might lead to a 10x, 20x return value also if it works, right? So I've given them both the scenarios here. It might just work. If it works really well. And if it doesn't work, we are starting with a low budget, so the losses are under control. Might be some losses we have to incur for trying out the strategy. So definitely a lot of education goes in, which is I think also a bit of gap in this industry because I've talked to a lot of clients. They tell me that they've worked with various agencies, various advertisers in the past, but they've not got that proactive communication from them. A lot of clients have told me, and therefore I also am planning to come up with workshops and paid sessions. I do offer master classes and paid sessions, and I focus on the soft skills part of advertising, which I think is not being talked about a lot.
Hmm. Yeah. And do you feel that this is, as an individual who's also at the same time, trying to build their life, do you
Yeah.
feel you finally found your, craft in this? Do you think this is something that you feel you're good at, and this is something that you would want to do
Yeah.
for the rest of your life, or maybe for the sizable time that you can see?
I mean, I dream of ad campaigns, so that answers the question because it's something that I look up to every single day, no matter how challenging or how tiring it might get, and that's the beauty of it. And only those people who are actually interested in helping a brand grow can succeed in this space because unless you consider clients' money as your money, you will not be able to grow because that kind
Mm.
of dedication and commitment is required towards this space. And I believe I will be like it's just a 1% start in this industry. There's a lot more to explore, and I have a long-term vision in this particular industry.
Yeah.
And I think this industry is going to definitely scale up and grow every single year because the demand is rising, the brands are
Yeah.
rising, startups are rising. So every brand would have a need to go online. So that's my vision.
And do you think that as we move forward to this, more content centric world, and wherein, brand centric world where everyone is fighting for your attention,
Yeah,
how do the people who don't create a personal brand miss out in all of this? Like, why should a person who, hasn't ever thought about creating a personal brand and has no relation in terms of, has no ambition also to freelance or to do something like that? So should
right.
they be concerned with all this talk of, personal branding and all of that? Are they at risk of not getting something which someone with a personal brand might?
Absolutely. I think you're missing out on the gold mine if you're not doing person branding. And it applies to everyone, freelancers, founders, people who are doing jobs, people who are doing any kind of work, right? You can create a person brand based on your daily life experiences. It's not limited to a particular profession. Even if you're a student, you can create a person brand because what happens nowadays is people trust faces more than even brands. So
Okay.
personal brand is more important than even your company's brand at this point of time, and its importance will grow in the future, right? Because there are brands wherein we don't even know the founders who are running those particular companies, and there are brands like, for example, if you take example of Aman Gupta, right? Through Shark Tank we got to know him, and now I am definitely sure that there would have been a huge surge of boat users just because of his face and because he comes on Shark Tank because his personal brand grew from there, right? And I remember Ashni Grover, who was the judge in Shark Tank season one, he came up with a application like Cricket Pay in the IPL season. And he made a LinkedIn post that there were 1 billion users on that application without a single penny of marketing or ad spends. So that's the power of person branding. And my life has changed because of person branding. So I'm a live testimony in front of you that person branding, you don't have to be an expert at person branding. It's okay to post mediocre things. It's okay to post things that might not add value every single time. Because I see a lot of people getting overwhelmed from LinkedIn and Instagram, saying that okay, these are such good edited posts and these are such successful
Yeah.
posts out there. So what will I post? I mean, I haven't done anything, but on the contrary, if you start posting, you will achieve something in the future, and until that time, you'll already have a set of viewers who will be ready to appreciate you on that achievement. So I
Yeah.
think the best day to start was yesterday. The next best day is today. So people who are watching this, please do create a personal brand, tag both of us, tag the YouTube channel. And I think we'll be super happy even if one person seriously takes the implementation part up and his or her life changes because of this podcast.
Well, I'm sure it does. And I want to retrack on what you just said, which is related to, not overthinking about what you're about to post. Because
Yes.
I am certainly, when I look back at some of the old videos that I've recorded on this channel, I cringe so hard. And, possibly this is the case 5 years down the line, because let's say I would cringe at these videos, which I'm recording
Right.
currently 5 years down the line when I have a better mic, better studio, better camera. So I think
Right.
that is the nature of progression. You can't ever escape that. Like your present will always look compromised when when you move into the future. So I
Right.
think that is a game which is very tricky, but it's
Yes.
always essential to get past that stage of
Yes.
not caring as much and not just thinking that you are always in the spotlight, that you are being
Yeah.
judged constantly, because actually nobody cares.
Absolutely.
You are a testament of the fact that you have to pay to get people cared about something. So I think people
Absolutely.
who are just starting out can be super sure about the fact that nobody actually cares a
Nobody
lot.
cares. I mean, Kunal Shah said this very good thing that people in India or around the world are worried about their reputation when they haven't even built one. So
Yeah.
that's a sad thing that happens.
Yeah, that's strong. I think there's value in that, because I feel whenever a person really sits and spends time and expresses their own individual sense of expression of
Yeah.
life, whatever field that is, I think that is just so unique to them that it can never be copied or never be mimicked. If someone is
Absolutely.
very honestly themselves
Yeah.
in front of the camera, or whatever blog post they write or whatever LinkedIn article they write, anything like
Right.
that, if you are truly honest to yourself, and if you have the tools of delivering that communication
Right.
in a sense which is readable by other people, consumable by other people, then
Yeah.
I think you really tick mark all of the boxes for
Absolutely.
creating a personal brand.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And do you think about the fact of how personal branding has it helped you get more clients? So like, have you applied your personal branding principles to
Yeah.
your brand in itself, and help yourself get out from a situation wherein you weren't receiving clients or you weren't
Right.
receiving work, and
Right.
you did something which led you to receiving more clients, more work? So can you share that with us?
Absolutely. So Touchwood, till date, it's been, I think, more than 4 years in the paid media space, helping brands and freelancing and doing the agency work, all of that. I haven't done a single outreach message or outreach call or anything outreach. It's all been inbound. First, I started my brand through LinkedIn. So I used to receive messages. I used to make my personal brand alongside when I did a job as well. So I used to receive messages that, uh, can you do this work for us? Can you help us grow? All of that. And that happened because I started posting about my perception towards marketing, paid media advertising. I started just posting my videos on views about current trends in advertising, some
Yeah.
successful advertising campaigns. Because at start, no one has case studies or success numbers to boast about, right? So you have to post your perception, and if it
Yeah.
connects with the people out there, and you have to optimize your profile. So anyone who comes via your post, the next step will be he or she will go to your profile. And if they see that's professionally optimized, there's a banner, there's a proper headline, there's a proper description, and everything is organized in proper manner, there are 90% more chances they'll come to you. Because on LinkedIn, for example, I got a 95% response rate. So when I used to message like 10 people, like almost 9 people used to reply to me every single time. And these are, I'm talking about founders and CMOs and people at big positions, right? And then because of that, I was able to get into full-time freelancing because of the demand I was able to see from LinkedIn.
And why do you think that is? Like, why do you think 9 out of 10 people replied to your profile and not someone else's?
So two things. One is profile was very optimized. Alongside also I was posting content so they were able to see an activity. But the main reason is I always, whenever I connected with someone, I used to send them a note
Okay.
and just not the connection. So I used to send them a very personalized note that, for example, if I'm connecting with a CMO of an agency called Shabang, right? So I used to send her this message. If I have to invite her for my podcast, so I will send her a message that I've been through your recent post, which talks about this. I really resonated with the same, and I would therefore love to invite you to my podcast. So that's why people are able to see in the connection requests that note that comes. You stand out automatically first via that. And secondly, whenever someone connects with me, I send them an introductory message that, hey, it's very amazing to connect with you, and I would like to give you my short introduction. And I ask them a question, which is one tip I'd give to all the viewers of this session, that always don't send any generic introduction message. Always make it a bit customized. You can take the template from ChatGPT. It's nothing wrong in taking the template, but add your own customization to it, personalization to it. It might take 1 or 2 minutes extra time, but it's worth giving it. And always
Yeah.
ask a question in the end of the message that I would love to know more about your experience, which starts the conversation and helps you build a connection with those people.
Hmm. And do you think
So,
like this is a good place for people to start thinking of, optimizing their LinkedIn profile? Like, I think first get the basic site first, make sure that you've got everything, which is kind of required by the app
yeah,
on any social pro platform to get that filled in the most optimized manner that you can, and then
yeah.
start thinking about, how you're going to cold TM or reach out to people.
Absolutely. That's the first and the most primary step. So, a lot of people I've seen, even in, my colleagues that I talk to, people from other organizations, everyone tells me that, okay, personal branding is important. Everyone knows personal branding is important, but only 1% people are taking that action towards what they already know, which is a sad reality. So, uh, to all the viewers who are watching this, if you have been waiting to build a personal brand, I think it's already high time. And the first step you should do is optimize your LinkedIn profile or your Twitter or Instagram, whichever platform you're going to start off with, YouTube as well, right? And there are a lot of videos available on YouTube for free of optimization. Even I have created playlists on my YouTube channel on proper LinkedIn optimization. You can go through that and first optimize that. It might take a week or so. You'll have to invest half an hour, 1 hour daily, which is doable for anyone who's also doing a job, right?
Yeah.
And then it makes sense to bring users to that page, because if you I see a lot of messages from people in my DMs without a profile picture. I've never replied to those people because I
Hmm.
can't trust profiles without a profile picture.
Yeah,
That's a
I think
human
that's true.
psychology, right?
Yeah.
I don't reply to people without a banner on LinkedIn, because you're wasting that space, you're wasting that introduction, right? It's just like a person coming into your house and telling just a hi without even saying his name or what he does. You won't allow that person in, right? As compared to a person
Exactly.
who says that, hi, I am this person, I'm let's say Ripudaman from this organization, I've come for a survey. You will allow them
Yeah.
then. So that's the whole mindset, that if you won't tell about yourself, people won't start trusting you.
Hmm. I think that is also why it's very important to start this journey on your own, because no one is coming to start your
Yes,
personal brand. I think
yes,
you essentially at this point, if you and coming back to what I was saying is
yeah,
more on the lines of, do you find any common challenges when it comes for people to have that struggle of starting a personal brand? Like, what do you think are the most common factors due to which you feel your clients struggle
yeah.
while starting a personal brand, or you feel in general, the public misses out on? Like,
So the
what do
first
they fear so much?
versus they fear, as we talked about, that it would spoil their reputation. What will the colleagues think? What will my friends think? What will my family think? Wherein no one is watching you, actually, to be brutally honest, right? No one cares about you. Everyone is
Yeah.
busy in their own lives, right? So stop thinking about what will people think. And that is first. Second is, I see, like, I help a lot of clients, a lot of founders, a lot of people who are in high position jobs to build their personal brand. Nowadays, people are very flexible and experimenting. But when I started off with this service, and I think it's been 2 years, I've been building brands for people on LinkedIn. There were a lot of limitation factors. Like, for example, the founders were not ready to experiment with, let's say, a meme on their profile.
Yeah.
Right. They were not ready to experiment with video content. They had a very fixed notion that, okay, person man has to go out very in a very perfect manner. Your reputation has to be portrayed in a very organized manner, which is not true, because personal brand, the word personal is for a reason there, because it is meant to be candid. It is meant to be, it is meant not to be organized every single time. It is meant to be
Yeah.
just you. every single day. If you talk about, if you have to be professional or organized, there are company pages and company LinkedIn pages where we can follow those structures for you, right? But if you're not free enough to experiment and be yourself on person branding, no matter what strategy you apply, no matter how much time you are investing, your person brand will never be able to get a loyal, viewership and a loyal fan base, without which it's of no use.
Hmm. I think that's always the case with high engagement Instagram influencers. I've always seen this with them, that
Yeah,
they are always the ones who are the most active on, putting 10 stories a day and making sure one has a poll, one has some Instagram music, one has
yeah,
a story of what they're doing, what they're eating, and things like that. So
correct,
having that level of personal, influence or personal just, kind of access to your audience
yeah,
really gives them a onus of, okay, they trust you more now. I think they relate to
correct,
you a little bit more than the other person,
correct.
because you are giving them more slices from your life than the other person.
And
But
here, for
yeah,
example, like a lot of founders would be watching this session, their question will be, we don't have time, like because obviously they are caught up in so many things,
yeah.
and the first priority is always the business, and then comes the other priorities, especially when you're setting things up, right? So there's a very good advantage nowadays that you have teams who can help you build a person brand. Like for example, I've helped people build brands from scratch, start zero. Uh, because I mean, for example, I have done those mistakes in my own brand. So I know that, okay, I don't have to do this again. And I can
Hmm.
shorten that journey for my clients, right? And obviously, I need to sit with the clients. I sit with the clients and I understand their persona. I understand their daily life experiences. I take, there's a proper mechanism in which, let's say, every week you have to upload the pictures, the images of your experiences on a Google Drive, and then we create stories around the same, and then we
Hmm.
plan everything in advance so that you don't have to worry every single day that, okay, what should be the topic of today's post, because you cannot afford to spend that much time
Yeah.
researching and then putting it out. But at the same time, for that, the only thing required is patience and the trust, and I would say the ability to allow the team who is working for you to experiment with themes that relates to your brand.
But do you think an individual creator who is, let's say, not let's say a business founder we're talking about, let's say
Yeah,
individual creators, do you think they also require teams to do personal branding for them, like who are small
absolutely.
scale?
Absolutely. See, there I've met a lot of individual creators who are in their starting phases who have no clue about personal branding, or they don't enjoy the process of personal branding, to be honest. So rather than forcing oneself into personal branding, because eventually you might do it for 2 months, third month you will burn out and leave the entire
Yeah,
process, right?
yeah.
So it's better that you have someone, maybe on a consultation level. I've consulted so many people on a 1 hour consultation who don't have in initial stages the budget for the entire scope of work, but I've consulted them, given them the way that, okay, you do this, you do that. And there's one more myth, very important point I'd like to bring out, that people believe that personal branding is very hard. You have to post every single day, you have to, you know post so many stories, so many live sessions, right? But it's not about that. It's about what is comfortable for you, right? For example, if you're comfortable with 3 posts a week, that's perfectly fine. If you're comfortable with 10 posts a week, that's completely fine. You don't have to stick to, like nowadays, what's happening
Mm.
is every one is a Instagram guru, LinkedIn guru,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of reels around that. They, okay, do this is a fixed template, but it's not their fault also. They're doing it for their engagement, they're doing it for their audience, they're adding value in some way or the other. But you have to decide what is comfortable for you. You have to decide the creator or the person who is able to guide you the best, because everyone connects with a different mentor.
Mm.
Everyone can't have the same mentor. Like, for example, I started my journey watching Ranveer Allahabad because I kind of connected with him and he motivated me to come into the video creation space. You
Yeah.
might connect with Gary Vee, you might connect with any other creator who is creating on Instagram, like Finance with Sharon, you might relate with him, right? So whoever you connect with, try to get a consultation from that person, or consultation from a person who's in that space who you connect with, and then that will be the best thing you can do for your own brand.
Mm. And how much do you think are businesses and organizations still into things like Google Ads for making sure that they're getting as many leads as they can? Do you
Yeah.
think, are you seeing a trend of something changing in this space? Like, are you seeing AI maybe capable of doing more than a personal branding agency could do? So are there some interesting things that you see happening in this space which you want to tell us about?
Yeah. So firstly, when I talk about Google ads or let's say Meta ads or LinkedIn ads, different the ad space, so I see it growing on a very fast-paced level. Even during pandemic, there were clients who are spending lakhs and crores of budget per month. So,
Wow, that's
I
crazy.
mean, even during pandemic, and that's growing every single year. Everyone is coming online towards Google ads, Meta ads. Everyone has a demand, especially these two platforms are growing. LinkedIn ads also for B2B, right? And this will continue to grow. And there's also talk that will AI take over the advertiser's job, because nowadays what platforms are trying to do is they are trying to take away the control from advertisers by putting in some automated campaign features and stuff like that. But uh, I think we don't have to fear AI. It's actually good they're putting AI automated features. It does the job of an advertiser actually easier, because see, founders don't care and don't have the time to learn AI and then implement it via AI, right? What they care about is results. So I always suggest advertisers use AI as a part of your strategy. Don't be very against AI that, okay, I will only go towards my manual campaigns. I won't use automated features. Create a mix of it, right? What the client cares, he doesn't care if you're using AI as a part of your strategy. What he cares is, are you able to bring him results or not? Whatever strategy you're using, right? So that is one. Secondly, I think AI for personal branding has really been beneficial because with the advent of ChatGPT, for example, now I think people who are doing personal branding, that is increased by 10x 20x, just because ChatGPT is there and they can now create post structures from
Yeah.
ChatGPT and add their own customization and put it on LinkedIn, which was not there, I think, 3 4 years back when I started my personal branding. We had to manually sit down and write down the whole
Hmm.
content ideas and then write the whole long
Copywriting,
form
yeah.
post around that. It used to take at least 30 minutes 40 minutes at least to write one post on LinkedIn,
Yeah, I'm
which is
sure.
reduced to I think 5 to 10 minutes with practice, obviously. And such AI features are actually a very good thing for personal branding, and you should actually leverage and use them for your own personal brand. And even agencies, I'm sure a lot of agencies are using it. We are using AI features and various creative AI tools out there to help build clients' brands.
And before we let you go, and I honestly, I think there's been so much that we've discussed that it's just been breeze
Yeah,
by me. But I would want to definitely know a lot more about SEO before we, whatever time we have. I would
sure.
want you to explain search engine optimization to me in terms of how easily and practically can
Yeah.
I and the people who listen to this show become better SEO experts, understanding it and implementing it.
Right. So honestly, I haven't been into implementation side of SEO. I've just been into ads part, but I've
Yeah.
seen, like in my organization, I've been in touch with my friends who are in SEO and I've observed that space very closely. So in terms of SEO, what I feel as of now is the trends in SEO change more rapidly than any other space in digital marketing.
Okay.
So every single month there are new updates from Google, and you have to be in touch with all those updates, and that's how you can evolve your website. Because earlier what used to happen is that I was watching this one video wherein it told that earlier the links that you used to get, like the backlinks and the external links, the off-page SEO used to be more stronger. Nowadays on-page SEO, which is the content that you put on your own website as compared to the links that you get from outside blogs, is more
Okay.
stronger, is becoming more stronger. So Google is
Yeah.
prioritizing that. So you have to be in touch with all the updates. Secondly, you have to actually make sure that all your primary keywords, so you'll be targeting a set of keywords on Google
Yeah.
Ads, or you'll be knowing which are the primary keywords. You can use Google Keyword Planner for the same. Watch YouTube video if you don't know about Google Keyword Planner. It's a very easy tool. You'll get the primary keywords. Ensure you are creating blogs around what people are searching about. Because if you create a blog about something that's not in demand, it's not SEO, right? For
Yeah.
example, if you are in, let's say, menstrual hygiene space, you are selling menstrual cups and sanitary pads. Search, like explore and research that what people are searching on Google every single month. There will be female users. There are a lot of searches about the leaks happening in the menstrual cups, right? So create a blog about why not, like how should you avoid leaks in menstrual cups? What's the proper process of inserting a menstrual cup, for example? Right. If you create a blog around that with the primary keywords, you are actually helping in the SEO of your website, and you'll have more chances of ranking. Now,
Hmm.
this was like a content-based SEO. There's a technical side as well, like meta tags, headline
Yeah.
tags, and site mapping, making sure your site is easily navigated by the Google index. So that technical factors, I would suggest that people who are watching, like who are founders and people who want to get it done, I would suggest you get it done from an expert out there rather than dwelling
Hmm.
into the same, because it's a very
Yeah.
vast thing. You will invest a lot of time, effort to learn. Rather than that, hire someone who has done it for other websites in the similar space, and he'll be able to do it. You just have to support him with the required blogs and the content for your own website, and you just have to have a vision that every month at least 2 to 3 blogs should go live, and every month something new should go in terms of content on my website and should get updated, because I have seen websites which are not updated from the last 10 years.
Yeah, I
So
think that's yeah, that kind of justifies their own case.
yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
So, I think there is so much more in this space that it can never be covered in one conversation. But a very good and a very, I would say, highly accessible start to this whole space, personally for me, in
Yeah,
trying to understand marketing, advertising, in trying to understand ads, Google ads, meta ads.
right.
So thank you so much, Rahul, for coming on the show. I am pretty sure that if ever I now encounter something which is related to ads, you are my go-to guy. Outside
Sure,
of that, I'm sure we'll have you again to break down some of the other complex topics related to this space. But thank you
sure.
so much for taking the time out, man. Loved
Thank
talking
you.
to you, and I'm sure people find value out of this and are able to reach out to you for their personal branding agencies.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It was lovely talking, and the kind of questions you asked was really, to the point. And I think this was not just another generic interview. It was a very value-packed interview. And I would want the viewers to comment down their value, even if you got, let's say, one new thing you got to learn, just comment down, and we'll be happy to see that. Tag us on your Instagram stories. Like share this with anyone who might benefit out of this, because very few people are talking about what we talked about in this interview, and it needs to go out to especially the people who are starting out in this space, because I have seen
Yeah,
those challenges at start, that no proper mentorship or guidance was there.
yeah.
But now with the help of these podcasts like these, we can really help those people. So share this across, and once again, thank you so much, viewers, for staying till the end, and thank you so much, Ripudevan, for inviting me.
Well, you're pretty good at it, man. You kind of concluded the show better than me. So I think I will have no words more to say for this. But
Thank
thank you so
you.
much, Rahul, for doing this. Super great to have you on the show. Thanks. Thanks
My
for taking the
pleasure.
time.
Thank you so much. Take care.